So I'm at the allotment, 8:30 p.m. on the 9th of June. Let's have a look and see what's going on. So courgette plants, I always plant them in one of these two beds because they don't really need to be rotated. There aren't many diseases for courgettes that will last over winter. I've also found when I've put plate ones in other parts of the allotment, they just do not fruit the same. But these ones have got flowers on. Sort of started earlier last week, surrounded by marigolds and calendula to bring the pollinators in. I'm pretty sure we'll have more courgettes than we could possibly eat very soon. Nasturtiums, which I planted one year and they come back every year. Sunflowers, which I grew from seed, transplanted earlier, maybe early May. A new planter that we added here is Agastache Gora, and I can't remember the name of this one, but look at the flower. Next bed is chard. We have already harvested some of this, so I have a middle row there which you can see cut some away from. The idea is to use something that's cut to come again, but it looks like it wants to be a bit larger than salad leaves anyway. Then we have beans. So broad beans, much better than last year. By this time last year they'd already died because of the black fly getting to them. There are a few black fly on there this time, as you can see there, but so far not enough to really matter. We've got runner beans on the large wigwams either side of a French bean, which requires a bit more encouragement to climb, but hopefully it'll get there. And in between those I've put borlotti beans, just to make the most of the space, cover the soil, and not waste too much space when I only have 75 square meters of allotment. Here we've got sweet peas, again not necessity, not going to eat them, but they do give a crop, they look nice. Buddleia canes that I cut from the garden to make the support there. We've already had a good few bunches of these sweet peas and they keep on coming. I've got a crown prince squash planted underneath those, which that will sprawl out and probably take over the allotment by autumn. Cucumbers on this netting here. There is one just around there. It's just come in now. I harvest those. They're only a smaller variety, but again, there are so many cucumbers from these plants that I'm giving them away by the end of July. And this is the Jack B. Little squash on this frame, which we'll store. We've still got some now that are still edible, still looking good, and we harvested those in October. So onions, I didn't grow these from seed, I grew these from sets, just because of how much space I don't have really with how many things I am growing from seed at home. Got a little row of spring onions next to those. When I harvest the brown onions, I will then be planting in leeks, which I've already got at home in a plastic greenhouse ready to go. And then a direct sowed spinach in between the onions here. Parsnip bed, they're proving elusive this year. I do have some more at home that will be coming out soon. There's 8 planted there, but again they're a winter crop. Got shallots, first year growing those, another row of shallots there. Beetroots are looking really good. We've already harvested some of these, and I mean, yeah, looking very healthy. Carrots, a mixture, Chantenay carrots, and a resistor fly, just one row of the resistor fly carrots. But I've amended the soil this year. I've got some sand in there and topsoil and multi-purpose compost to see if we can get a better yield. Brassicas, well we've got kale, Brussels sprouts and a sprouting broccoli in this one. Cabbages, turnips, and then swede has been direct sown in the middle of these cabbages. Yet to see anything come up with that, but fingers crossed. Got chives here, which we've already cut back maybe early last week, and they're already sprouting fresh. Garlic does have some rust on it. Hopefully at this stage won't really matter. to the bulbs. Now this is another of the Crown Prince squashes, which does have a pumpkin there. Oh, this is the asparagus bed. I will let this grow over the asparagus bed. It will help keep it wet over summer and hopefully then improve that crop next year. Strawberries, which I have done a video about before, still cropping those, but they've slowed down a bit. Put some runners out, which I will stick into pots soon. Raspberries here, did a lot of work on that last year, putting a root barrier in because they decided they wanted to grow everywhere. Gooseberries, they've escaped the netting, but the netting has stopped the pigeons from squashing them like they did last year. More companion plants in this bed, so borage, sunflowers, nigella, marigolds, nasturtiums hopefully will grow up this frame just to give a bit of height. Some primroses, more sunflowers, self-seeded nasturtium with the new apple tree that I planted earlier this year. And the final thing is this blueberry that I planted recently, berries on it, hopefully harvest some soon. So yeah, early June and it's looking good. All peat-free. A couple of other additions this year. We built this frame, planted a passion flower, which was £2. It is grown, starting to climb. Hopefully covered in flowers, maybe next year, probably not this year. Rhubarb, which I inherited, I was lucky to not put the shed over this. I may have covered more, who knows, but gives more than enough a crop for what we need. And then this clematis was destined for the bin, but it's growing well and it's going to go up the shed. Just old wire stapled to it. Doesn't look the best, but once it's covered, it's going to look good.